You do not hate the Jets.
No.
You'll watch every game. You analyze it.
People can believe that I hate the Jets all they want. I don't hate the Jets. In fact, I love Nate Hackey. He's a good friend of mine. But I had to go calm myself with some Duncan. There you go.
Tiki runs on Duncan.
Exactly.
Well, Joe feels bad, so hopefully you have a conversation. You guys are friends again. Because I can't have this on my conscience.
I don't hold grudges. I don't care. You know that.
Are you sure?
You know what I do for a living.
No, I don't.
I don't think people know or understand that when I say I watch a game, it's not like I'm going back and watching I DVR'd the game and I listened to it and watched it again, and I got the muddled coverage that whoever gives you. I go and watch all 22 videos. I go look at what Zach is doing well, what he's not doing well. I can speculate on what I believed happened between him and Garrett Wilson because I actually watched the play and analyzed what happened on that play. I can look at Michael Carter and say, dude, Michael Carter, you got to put your left foot in the ground and go north and south and get that first down, and then give yourself even more room to punt out of there as opposed to running sideways, to which his running back coach says exactly what I just said, and Michael Carter gets pissed off about it. Like that, I watched the game, and I analyzed the game. And, yes, I do it dispassionately because I have to, right? I call games every single weekend. This coming week, I'm going to be in maybe the worst game of the year.
Yeah, what'd you do to earn this one?
The Chicago Bears hosting the Denver Broncos, who lost collectively 110 or 11 or whatever it is to 30-something, right? So I have to watch games. It's what I do for a living. And so to say that I don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't watch the game, it's insulting because this is what I do. I prepare diligently for this show. I don't get a chance to watch the game live. And honestly, it's better for me because I don't let emotion get in the way. I can watch it as an analyst is supposed to watch football games, and I can tell you why things are happening or why, as a fan, you should be upset because Zach's not doing this or Daniel Jones isn't doing this or your right guard who's a center and hasn't played practice really at guard is starting for the first time. So Nathaniel Hackett has a limited play calling sheet because he can't ask that guy who's never played that position to do those things, right? So there's reasons why I watch games differently than you, Evan, as a fan watch, or BT as a fan watches, or Joe as a fan watches. And so I hope that perspective is what I bring to the show, especially talking about the Jets. Will I get emotional about the Giants? Sure, because I'm a Giants fan. But I still am always going to be prepared. And so to insinuate that I'm not prepared pisses me off.
I understand. I will tell you, and I don't know if I have permission to ever play this, but behind the scenes, Joe and I recorded an interview with a former general manager in baseball. And before the interview, Joe started kind of berating him for one of the moves he made. And it did not go well. And they started bleeping.
The interview didn't go well.
The interview never started.
Oh, wow.
And it was pre-recorded. And it turned into them. It started with the other guy. And I don't want to say his name unless he ever gave permission.
Got it.
I'd play it. I'd beep it out because it's freaking hilarious. But he starts bleeping at Joe, like, mother bleeper, you don't know. And then Joe, for some reason, which he wouldn't have done with you, starts doing it back to him. and they are just going at it for 5 minutes about, you're a piece of bleep, you're a piece of... And then somehow it ended with them both apologizing. And then the guy said, you still want to do the interview? And Joe's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, what the hell just happened?
But the interview was better.
And the interview was tremendous. And we talked about, like, the Mets for 15 minutes.
That's funny.
I have to reach out to the guy who is in the media.
How long ago is this?
It was probably 2016, 2017.
So it was a little bit ago.
It was a little bit
So
ago.
he definitely would give you permission.
The guy in the media? The former general manager?
Yeah.
All right, can you call, you may have his number. I feel bad saying, but a former general manager in this town who works in the media and say, hey, can you, no, try again, Sean. He's guessing in my ear.
Lukey wasn't on the board?
Nah, he wasn't there. Oh, this was tremendous. And we must still have the audio. Because I think we saved it to say, boy, this is hilarious. Someday we may have to play this out.
Oh, it never.
No, because it was pre-recorded.
Oh, I got it.
They were mother bleeping each other.
Got it. That's awesome.
No, forget it. You guys have no idea. I'll tell you
Turns out there's a lot of former GMs that work in the media.
We gave 2 great guesses, by the way. 2 tremendous. Oh, no, it can't be that.
Well, you named good guesses. You didn't get the right guy. Whatever. I will try to get permission and play it because it's freaking ridiculous. One quick thing before we get back to your calls about Salah that annoyed me yesterday that no one's going to think about because it turned out not to matter. So do you remember when the Jets kicked the field goal with a minute and a half to go? The Greg Zuerlein 52-yarder made it 10-3.
Yep.
It was 4th and 2 from the 34. So they were thinking about going for it, which I admit I was leaning towards doing, even though you needed to just get points on the board.
Yes.
So the Jets line up to go for it, call a timeout, change their mind, kick the field goal. They waited and made the timeout call when there was still 10 seconds left on the play clock, which means the game clock was only down to 125. They could have given the Patriots 10 less seconds with the football. Instead, they kicked the field goal. They gave them 10 more seconds. And remember, the Patriots drove the field and attempted a 57-yard field goal that was missed. But why would you hand the Patriots 10 extra seconds? It was a clock mismanagement mess by this head coach that luckily gets forgotten about because it didn't burn them.
Yeah. I mean, and Joe even said this. They missed a couple of opportunities. I mean, this could have easily been 16-3 at the half. And, who knows if it's even down to a Hail Mary at that point because you're pressing even more because you're not down just a touchdown at halftime. You're down 2 scores. So, I hate to second guess time management, things like that in the moment because you're not thinking about it. You're thinking about, and this is me making an excuse for Robert Saleh, but he's thinking about how can I just make sure that we get points? He's not even thinking about the other side at that point. And that's why a lot of these head coaches, they have a time guy, right? They have someone who manages this for them and reminds them, oh, don't forget, I know you're thinking about us kicking this field goal now, but don't forget, we don't want to do XYZ on the backside, right? And so you need that guy. You need those extra employees whose job it is to specifically remind you of those things in the moment.
Yes, he does. Joe's in Staten Island. What's up, Joe? Joey.
Like just half a second, okay?
What's up, Joe?
So, no more Joe Benigno. Joe Benigno comes off like the biggest clown I've ever heard. Week 1, it was there's no reason we can't go to an AFC championship game. And now week 3, it's the worst team that's ever existed. The guy loses all credibility when he starts calling out Tiki, who's the only guy on the fan other than Boomer, like he knows what the hell he's talking about. And I'm not even a Giants fan.
In fairness, the last part you said is absolutely true. Him and Boomer are the only guys who know what the hell they're talking about. Sean likes to think he does because he watches Giant game tape numerous times. So I will give him the last point. But here's the first point that's wrong. The NFL season is a roller coaster, more so than any other sport in this town.
And by the way, this year, Evan, nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense.
The fact that the Cardinals, maybe they're just better than we thought.
Maybe.
they beat the Cow. That makes 0 sense at all.
Makes no sense. And I think that Giant fans and Jet fans, more to the extreme, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, let's think about it. In week 1, Aaron Rodgers is running out there with the American flag. He gets hurt. They shockingly come back and beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, you can't blame me, Joe, or any other Jet fan for being giddy about that.
Yeah, who are good. The Bills are good.
No doubt. They then lose to the Cowboys, in which their defense comes up small. And then for the 15th consecutive time, they lose to the Patriots, where they managed to score 10 points. Like, think about that. Is that not nuts? Is that not a roller coaster of emotions where someone can go from excitement of, hey, we lost Rodgers, but wow, this defense is so good, we beat the Bills, to what we've seen the last 2 weeks? Like, that's what being a sports fan is all about. And the Jets have given us, through 3 weeks, the ultimate roller coaster.
Yeah, no, that is. I mean, the NFL is, it's gotten odder as the years continue to go on. There's consistency, right? Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be consistently there. But other than that, I mean, maybe the Eagles, but I can't even predict that, honestly, because they lost 2 coordinators. But it's hard to look at the NFL and say, this is what I expected. You almost need to just start saying, I don't know what to expect until I see it, right? Because the Bills lose to the Jets in week 1, as you mentioned, Ev, and Josh makes a bunch of stupid mistakes. Subsequently, they've beaten 2 teams in a row by 28 points. They've just dominated. They dominated the Commanders. We called this game, which interestingly was tight. It was a 2-possession score until the beginning of the 4th quarter, and the next thing you know, it's 37-0, right? That's just the playmaking ability on both sides of their team. And the Jets beat them.
Yes.
Without Aaron Rodgers. With Zach not doing a whole bunch of much, but the run game hit and the defense was amazing. So, yeah, the NFL is It's what makes it such a compelling and interesting sport because anything can happen any week.
And I'll give you a specific example I'll use the Giants as an example. So right now they're sitting at 1-2.
Yeah.
They're about to play a monstrous game against Seattle 1 week from tonight against the Seahawks. Let's say they got killed in this game, get blown out, look like they don't belong on the field.
So they're 1-3.
The Giant fan will panic.
Of course.
The Giant fan will be disgusted. The Giant fan will likely say, we're dead. Then they shockingly beat the Bills and Dolphins in back-to-back weeks.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Like, that's the NFL.
And probably not even both. You just got to beat one of them.
Beat one of them.
That's right.
Like, I give you a great example. For as down as we all are as Jet fans, what if they're the Arizona Cardinals the next week and they beat the Chiefs on a Sunday night? Maybe Taylor Swift shows up at MetLife Stadium, brings all sorts of weird bad luck because Mahomes is forcing the ball to Kelsey to keep her happy. Sauce picks him off a couple of times, and the Jets stun the world, and they shake it off.
I like what you did
Wow.
there.
Okay.
I didn't know you knew Taylor Swift like that.
I used to like Taylor Swift, and then she was a turncoat.
Why?
She went from country to pop. Not a fan.
But Shake It Off was a pop song.
I'm aware of her songs, but she's better as a country star.
And country is pop.
What?
It's all the
Country
same
music
now, right?
is pop, you dope. Any
all the
country
same.
singer now is pop music.
Yeah,
It's
and
pop
we're not-
country.
We're not talking about the old school country.
Correct.
Yeah,
Bingo.
it's true.